Hi there, welcome back to your Apatros review. Now this is a special episode, part of a two-part episode called the D Spectrum, Part 2. Actually, the D Spectrum 2. It's a episode marker for the 50th episode. I will do the 50th episode after this two-part special, so stick with me for that. And welcome back to your Apatros review. This is the second time I'm doing the D Spectrum, and yes, I am wearing a toilet paper face mask. Because the coronavirus is just getting worse and worse. Anyway. Now, in order to mark the 50th episode I've done of the Apatros review, the regular episodes that is, and this time I managed to end up with more D-Spectrum films than I would otherwise have expected for the special's quota. I thought the original special only had about 8 films, so I'm pretty much compensating for that, in a way. To make sure the films I'm covering here get more room to be covered, I'm splitting the special into two parts. For each film, I will mention which episode I covered it in, give a brief synopsis and review, and explain my reasons for my grading, as well as briefly explain what DVD was released on, if applicable. So here goes. Number 1. We'll do a countdown from 13. I'll just do it anyway. Project Kill. Now this I covered in episode 26. I gave it a D, which is a 2 out of 10. A cheap Philippine-US production that got wound up in some unexpected legal wrangling when the head of the distributor was murdered and the resulting rights tussle left the film with an erratic release. Project Kill was one of the last films the director William Girdler ever made. The film was never released during his lifetime. He died in a helicopter crash before the film saw cinema screens. And starred the likes of later-to-be comedy legend Leslie Nielsen and Gary Lockwood in one of his worst-ever performances. This tale of a covert military assassin who leaves his cushy job as the head of a top-secret program to train top-notch assassins, only to find himself caught between his former employers, and the Asian mobster who wants him to make for his own benefit a parallel program, all the while suffering from drug withdrawal effects that make him dangerously violent. It's a pretty badly handled film as it is. The story is bunk, the acting ranges from mediocre to really, really bad. Pamela Parsons is literally given nothing to do in the role as a useless CIA liaison, sent to give Lockwood some cover story, and most worryingly, the action scenes are handled in such a horrible fashion that the martial arts between Nielsen and Lockwood resembles a fight between two homeless alcoholics trying to do some drunk food. The film has some unintentional amusement factor, and Nielsen actually manages to give some sympathy to his role, but this film is mostly just bunk. Now, it is available on DVD, or for only on public domain sourced bargain basement El Cheapo DVD singles and multipacks, usually with very poor picture quality. Having said that, the print used by Flashback Entertainment is one of the cleaner ones I've seen, so try your luck with them first. Cheap to obtain too. Next, Tiger Warsaw, directed by Amin Q. Chaudhry in 1988. I covered this one in episode 28. My grade, D+, 3 out of 10. With a title that makes a few viewers who pick this one up think they're getting a cheesy 1980s action film, Tiger Warsaw is a cheesy 1980s relationship drama, starring the much underrated Patrick Swayze back when he was trying to establish himself as more than a pin-up idol. This role didn't end up working for his career prospects, only making back $422,627 out of a modest $2 million budget. But Swayze gives the film a performance that is actually, for my money, a really good performance, indeed better than the film deserves. The only problem with this film is a clumsy script that spends too much time showing the effects of the childhood incident that got Swayze's character effectively shit-canned from his hometown, and never enough time actually explaining what the incident was about. Put it down to a lost in translation problem with the director being of Pakistani origin, and therefore not able to discern what American people really like. This story might have worked better if it were made in Pakistan, but in the USA the story just seems just too damn strange. Patrick Swayze's performance is actually pretty good though. Now, this film has long ago fallen into the public domain, and has since been released on a lot of mediocre quality VHS tapes and DVDs. The review DVD I checked out here was a double feature disc from Painless Entertainment, one of Region 4's biggest bargain basement DVD labels. The film is usually featured in various Painless issue double feature DVDs and massive 50 film multipacks for really cheap prices here in Australia. Now, Vampires Los Muertos, Tommy Lee Wallace, 2002. I covered this one in episode 29. I gave it a D+, 3 out of 10. The first of two loosely related direct-to-video spin-offs of the awesome cult John Carpenter vampire film Vampires, one of my three favorite vampire films, this El Cheapo sequel is pretty poorly executed. The story, about a lowly dog catcher of a vampire hunter who gets a big-time job to assemble a team of hunters to conduct a strike on a nest of vampires in Mexico, only to find that his mysterious backer is the female master vampire he's supposed to be hunting. She's using him to expose any hunter out there so she can personally kill him herself. Genius move for a vampire. It's okay enough. although Tommy Lee Wallace doesn't quite have the funds or the style to make it work fully. Still, it ain't terrible, and fans of low-budget vampire flicks who absolutely hate Twilight with a passion for the insane damage it did to the vampire genre will like this one for a rainy afternoon fare. And since when did Mexico have the ability to produce experimental anti-vampire infection drugs? Now, this was released on Australian DVD shelves by Columbia TriStar back when they were the best label putting out DVDs. Universal had a problem with the silly icons in their menus, and MGM had some good releases, but many of the cult ones during the early 2000s had mediocre technical quality, and 20th Century Fox was similar to MGM. But the release of this one was a little lacking. The supplement consists only of an audio commentary by director Tom Lee Wallace, who delivers a pretty good commentary where he explains some of the film's production problems, as well as this idea for the film's hero to not merely master his job, but a low-ranking one who's still not a force to be reckoned with, and to be messed with. Worth listening to if you get the chance to hear it. The only other supplemental features on the disc are the trailer for the film and also one for Bram Stoker's Dracula, that 1990s big-budget vampire flick that was pretty noticeable back in its day. I knew some friends had the board game. This appears to be the only release of the film on DVD in Australia, although the US version had an extra trailer, so Aussies better buy local if they can track a copy of this one down. Now, Blood Surf, directed by James D.R. Hickox in the year 2000. I covered this one in episode 32. I gave it a D plus as well, 3 out of 10. The last film that Trimark Pictures ever released, Blood Surf, is basically a Jaws knockoff made for idiot surfers, with the asinine plot involving a couple of surfers who practice blood surfing, where the most reckless surfers cut their feet or throw blood in the water to attract sharks and then ride away to the sharks chasing them. Crazy, eh? And the camera crew find themselves stranded on an exotic island with both a band of pirates and a massive saltwater crocodile after them. The film is pretty stupid and the effects born and cheesy, but if you take this for a comedy, you'll pretty much be grinning from ear to ear. Now, this is not available in Australia. In fact, it's only ever had a VHS release here. In the States, you can pick up a DVD copy from Trimark, which is reasonable picture quality. If you like this film, I advise you to import from the US. Now, Memorial Day, directed by Wolf Kid in the year 1998. I covered this one in episode 34. I gave this one a D-, 1 out of 10, meaning it's terrible. One of the last films put out by Royal Oaks Entertainment, a prolific B film studio that specialized in military-themed action films during the 1990s, this unholy junker might have been only mediocre when it came out all the way back in 1998. But after the Twin Towers film on September 11, the story only winds up rubbing people the wrong way, with a group of CIA agents making up a fictional terrorist group and committing attacks in their name in order to justify their own paychecks. I really hated this movie, but at the time of reviewing this, I did not own a copy. I've since rectified this, buying a couple of cheap releases for $1 each, and I'll review those 2 discs in the future. Now it is, like I said, it's available on both Flashbang Entertainment and RAM Multimedia, both of which public domain bargain basement labels. I have both discs and will cover them one day. Now, Curse of Bigfoot, directed by Dave Flocker, released in both 1958 and 1975. I covered this in episode 35. I gave this one a D-, which is 1 out of 10. Originally a very short 1950s creature feature having a group of teenagers fighting a mummy, the film was not widely released under its original title of Teenagers Battle the Thing. It only had a release in the director's hometown, until 1975 when the director decided to augment the film with new footage and put it out to cash in on the then prevalent Bigfoot craze. You know, those Boggy Creek films in the 1970s, under the new title Curse of Bigfoot. A really boring and badly handled film that doesn't have anything tangible to do with the Bigfoot craze. And plus the costume was one of the crappiest I've ever seen. Practically looks like a bloke wrapped up around toilet paper and then covered in crap. Now, I don't know about any Australian releases of this on DVD, but my copy comes from the US issued Mill Creek 50 film box set called Pure Terror. That was placed onto the set with very poor picture quality and tinny mono sound. Anyway, that's the end of this first half of the D Spectrum 2. I'll do the second half in a couple of days, so just keep watching this channel. Anyway, that's it for this episode.